Greetings, everyone. Nate the Nerdarchy here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with some nerds.
Nerdarchy is Ted.
Nerdarchy is Dave.
And today we're going to D&Dized Neo from the Matrix.
Hey, jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So we had a viewer request. Is that what I'm hearing?
It is indeed. It's from William, and he wants to know, how would we D&Dize Neo from the Matrix?
So the funny thing about Neo from the Matrix is, it's like, well, which version, right? Because he kind of evolves along the ways, and he also, at some point, he almost becomes like a superhero, right? Mm. One is, there is Neo in the Matrix, and then there's Neo out of the Matrix. Out of the Matrix, like, especially early on, he's just like a dude, right? Mm-hmm. And then once he gets into the Matrix, he starts getting more powerful. But then, spoilers, as the series ends, he actually is able to take some of that power and use it in the real world.
So, for simplicity's sake, let's stick with the first movie, and we'll talk about him inside the Matrix.
Okay.
Literally going into the Matrix is like him taking his first level, if you would.
So the question I have is, are we going to make him human? Or is he like an Azamar? There's some wiggle room, and I feel like he's a chosen, and he's kind of like divine.
I could get behind Azamar.
Yeah, let's go with Azamar.
Okay, so we're gonna say he's an Azamar. He's got more power, and he does some crazy stuff.
And he's the chosen one.
So. He's the chosen one, and like there's 3 different sub races of Azamar.
So if we're gonna go into Volo's guide for what sub race of Azamar, I think I think Protector not only in name fits, but it's also going to fit for what he is going to need to do for, I would think, his primary class.
Okay, and what would that be?
He's clearly a monk. I mean, he's doing all kinds of fighty. He's like, I know kung fu.
He runs faster. He jumps higher. That's what monks do.
Indeed.
Yeah, and at some point he does actually fly. So I was like, Azamar wings, yeah he could definitely work. You can make that happen. Like, we could just do invisible wings that you can't see. So I was actually going to say, I think he might be a warlock with the pack of the Matrix. Actually, you know what? In the 1 UA, they have the modern... They do have the modern warlock. And it is like a pack like that with spells and stuff like that, which would kind of like be going into it. But I actually think he's a multi-class warlock, multi-class monk.
So, I was actually not thinking about Warlock at all. I was saying that he's mostly monk, and that, as he gets into the power, he's really going towards Mystic.
For a Scion?
Yeah.
Maybe the Immortal, where it is more of like in previous editions was like Psychic Warrior. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He looks skeptical. He's like, I'm freaking warring. Scion.
I'm warring between these two ideas. Because...
He's like, I would melt his mind for even trying psionics.
Because
he's like, no.
I'm torn because I want him to have spell access, but I only want him to have certain supernatural powers, and you can't. There's no class that only gives you like 5 or 6 powers. You know what I mean? Like
Warlock.
Well,
Warlock is like the epitome of one-hit wonder,
But as long as you like higher level in Warlock, you give him some kind of like divine intervention power, where it's like something that can really manipulate the actual Matrix, significantly, because he does. So
right, but we're
we have to work in the confines of what we have.
We have to work in the confines of what we have, and to make that easier, we're looking at just the first movie. I mean, we're not getting into
first movie, a monk, and then maybe starting. Let's just do both of those. I like both of them actually. So Tri-class.
So you want monk, warlock, and mystic?
Yeah, because the monk doesn't have the staying power. When you compare it to what the Immortal gains, I feel like the monk doesn't have the staying power that I feel like Neo gets a build up to. But...
Okay. All right, we can ditch Warlock and go Immortal and monk, which is a combination you played with a little bit.
Right.
Did you feel like Neo when you played that?
I did some
A really short Neo. You played a half.
Actually, I wasn't short at all. I went with one of my powers was giant. So I was huge.
You were a giant halfling. You know that kind of makes me think of like Baby's Day Out.
Just a giant child.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you make a halfling a giant.
Yeah.
So all right, so Immortal Path. We'll go with the what do they call it? Order of the Immortal.
Yeah.
And we'll go monk for the first level, or for the first movie. So the first movie probably goes like up to 6th level or something. So you could do like a 3 and 3 and give him his both of his paths, his archetypes. So open hand.
Open hand. It's got to be the only way. He's not slinging around elemental damage, and while there might be some sneaky, he's definitely not Way of the Shadow.
Okay. So we have classes, we have races. What about background?
So, I don't.
If you go with the first movie, I think it's easy. I think he's a sage.
I was gonna say sage, but what falls into I do clerical work?
Is there a
sage? Literally, that's what a sage does.
Is there a background in modern for?
They didn't do backgrounds.
Oh, bummer, because there should be IT or something. I feel like he's got that enough hacker skill and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like you could do it with a sage. You just
let's
sage.
just sage and then
modern day sage.
Yes, sage, and then we'll pick. The knowledge is required that he's going to have for that.
Yeah, and he's reading code and he was doing that. He was kind of like a dark net guy. I think that's how they kind of got. That's how they grabbed him in the first place, right? When the agents bring him in,
right?
Because he was doing stuff on the net. I think you can kind of accomplish all of that with Sage, and you're just reflavoring the skills
as opposed to getting knowledge arcana. He would have knowledge tech or whatever the modern equivalent of that.
And he'd speak common and binary.
Yeah, whatever computer language is going to
do. So I think that absolutely works. So what about stats?
All right, so he's going to get a +2 to charisma and a +1 to wisdom.
So 2 16s, right? Well, yeah, I guess 2 16s.
See, I don't know.
He seemed more intellectual than wise, though.
Yeah, and I feel like he's got decent dexterity, at least hand-eye coordination to start.
See, I would try to aim for the Midland route.
Straight 14s.
I just because he didn't seem until he really gained levels, he wasn't really excelling at anything. It was just one of those things yes, he's charismatic, but he wasn't walking to a room and everybody was fawning all over him.
Yeah, because he's sitting in his room typing on the computer. So
yeah, he wasn't super strong until
Well, yeah. So I don't think he was ever really super strong anyway, right? But so I don't remember him performing feats of strength throughout the movies.
Punch through walls,
monk stuff.
That's damage.
That's all kung fu theater stuff.
Right? Yeah, you can do that with your dex.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
You can be a 90-year-old and do that.
I feel like he probably has all 12s and 14s to start with.
Yeah, nothing really shouts. I was extremely good at this particular.
Yeah, 14 dex and con, maybe 14, in his mentals, and then he's got a 12 strength, or even a 10. He's average or a little above average. It kind of works out. He's kind of fit, and he's kind of in the matrix.
Right.
so that all combines to make him slightly better than average. But I think he starts getting ability bumps as the movies go on. He gets more powerful. His wisdom and his oh, wait a minute! Isn't intelligence the stat for scions?
Psionic, yeah.
So yeah, we could actually dump charisma down to a 12, and go with wisdom, higher wisdoms and intelligence.
And it would totally fit, the sage background having, high intelligence. And,
yes.
And it leads to the mystic.
So yeah, I like that. 12 charisma and strength, and everything else is a 14 to start him off.
Totally doable.
We can make this happen. What do you guys think? How would you build Neo from the Matrix? You can D&Dize him in the comments below. Why are you share, and subscribe.
You can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
Or you can hang out with us over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.